The little girl ran barefoot across the cracked sidewalk, tears streaming down her cheeks, her small chest heaving as she screamed for help. People turned their heads, some slowed their cars, but no one stopped. Her voice broke as she reached the edge of the parking lot where a line of roaring motorcycles had just pulled in. She grabbed the sleeve of a leather jacket without thinking and cried out the words that froze everyone there in place, "They're beating my mama." Minutes earlier, inside a small apartment above a closed convenience store, her mother, Sarah, had been trying to shield herself from two men who had forced their way in. Life had not been kind to Sarah. She was a single mother who worked night shifts at a long-term care home, doing everything she could to keep food on the table in a small Canadian town where jobs were scarce and rent kept rising. The men were relatives of her ex-partner, angry over a debt she didn't even know existed. Their shouting echoed through the thin walls as the little girl, Emily, hid behind the couch, shaking, watching her mother fall to the floor. When the men turned their attention away for a moment, Emily did the only thing her young mind could think of. She ran down the stairs, past the broken railing, out into the street, her heart pounding louder than the traffic. She didn't know where she was going until she saw them, the bikers, loud and intimidating, pulling into the lot of a roadside diner. Fear fought with hope inside her, but hope won. The biker she grabbed looked down, surprised. He was a big man with a graying beard and tired eyes, the kind of eyes that had seen too much life. When Emily spoke, the entire group went silent. Engines were shut off, helmets came off. The man knelt down so he was at her level and gently asked where her mama was. Emily pointed back toward the apartment, sobbing so hard she could barely breathe. Without a word, the bikers moved. Not in anger, but with purpose. Years ago, many of them had been written off by society, judged by their jackets and scars. But they were fathers, grandfathers, brothers, men who understood pain and injustice all too well. They followed Emily back, their heavy boots thudding on the stairs, their presence filling the narrow hallway. Inside the apartment, the shouting stopped when the men saw them. The bikers didn't need to throw punches. They didn't need to shout. Their calm was more frightening than rage. One of them spoke firmly, telling the men to leave, now, and never come back. Another stood beside Sarah, offering his jacket as she trembled on the floor. The men hesitated, then backed away, realizing this was a fight they would not win. They left in silence. Afterward, as police and paramedics arrived, Emily clung to her mother, her small hands gripping tightly as if afraid to let go. Sarah looked at the bikers through tears, unable to find words. One of them simply nodded and said they'd wait outside until everything was okay. They did, long after the flashing lights faded, long after the night air grew cold. Weeks later, the story spread through the town. Not because of fear, but because of kindness. The bikers organized a fundraiser to help Sarah move somewhere safer. They checked in, brought groceries, fixed the broken railing. Emily would wave every time she saw a motorcycle pass by, no longer afraid of the sound. In a world where people often look away, a little girl's courage and a group of unlikely heroes proved something powerful. Help can come from unexpected places. Family isn't always blood, and sometimes, all it takes to change a life is stopping, listening, and choosing to stand up when someone cries for help.